Hello, welcome to another Sonic Lab presentation. Today we've got Ollie, who's from Loopmasters / LoopCloud. And LoopCloud is a very interesting concept. It's the idea of kind of streamlining the possibility of finding samples integrated with a cloud-based storage system, but also piping them directly into your kind of creative situation. Have I got that about right?
That's about right, yeah. So LoopCloud takes your Loopmasters library, stores it in the cloud for you, allows you to download sounds when you want them, and gives you a really good way of searching using tags, instruments, genres, keys, BPMs, and a plugin which streams the audio from the cloud directly into a channel in your DAW, where you can add effects and any other processing, so you can hear a sound in context.
So, but it also synchronizes the kind of clock. So we're looking at the LoopCloud application here, which is, we should say, it's like a free download. You just need to create an account at Loopmasters. Yeah, right?
So you need a Loopmasters account, and you need to go to loopcloud.net, where there's a free download available.
And that's Mac and PC, VST, AU, AAX, right? Yes. So this is the interface. This is all sort of quite listy and whatever. But what have we got here? This is you get free content when you download it first.
Yeah. So here's an account. I've got a folder called Loopmasters Welcome and LoopCloud Welcome Packs. The LoopCloud Welcome Pack is what you get free. It's about 1 gig and a bit of content, and every week there's a new inspiration folder, and 150 free samples will turn up, and you need to click on them to claim them. Right. They will disappear after 2 weeks. So
that's a top tip. If you do this, you could get a load of free content, as you've got to remember once a week to download your free content, and that'll get you started.
Yes. So you don't actually need to own any content before you get going. We give you a good selection to get you going.
And that's all free?
That's all for free.
Okay.
All for free.
So this is that part of it.
Yes.
And you've also got what's this DAW you've got in this instance?
I've got Ableton Live 10 loaded, and I have a chord sequence, just something to start with. It's quite a nice chord sequence.
Dreamy and floaty.
Dreamy and floaty.
So that's your starting point.
That's
so you've got nothing else going on.
Oh, I've got a little plinky plonky chords and plinky plonks.
Right. Okay, but that's it.
That's it.
So the track that you've got the LoopMaster, the LoopCloud plugin in. So that's.
So I've got the LoopCloud plugin here.
And that's literally just a sort of pipe, effectively.
It just receives audio from the LoopCloud app.
Right. So you need both running, and then you're good to go.
Yes.
So what are we going to do?
I think we should find some percussion first.
Right.
And then we'll move on to some melodic elements. So let's use some of this new inspiration from Loopmasters.
So this is part of the free content.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So. And this is this local, or is this just a representation of it that you would download from the cloud?
So this is all on the cloud. So there's a little state icon here. Cloud means it's in the cloud, and this hard disk icon. So a few of things I've already downloaded, but everything else isn't actually on my hard disk. It's all.
So we're looking for some beats.
So we're looking for some beats. We could just open a folder, and in here we have some basses and some kicks and some snares. If we just try one of these kicks, it's a simple kick loop. But if we press play in Ableton Live, it's now in time. So in
time, in context.
Yes.
So that's doing some real time stretching.
Exactly. Yeah. We could try the hats in this folder. Let's claim these and drag these in because these work. So at this point, I can download the file.
Right.
Now it's on my hard disk.
Right.
It's been time stretched from 123 to 120. So let's pull in the processed version.
Right, which would be the time stretched version.
Which is the time stretched version.
Just drag it onto a track. Right, and that was it.
That's it. Done.
Okay.
So rather than folder navigation, we'll use the filters. So here are our tags, instruments, genres, labels, formats. So we need a kick drum. So let's just click on kick, and we can choose loop or one shot. So if we click on one shots, I have 123 kick one shots.
Right, okay. It's a good start.
Which is enough.
Okay, so now we're... Is this triggering or is these just playing?
Ableton stopped, so we can just click through. But if we start Ableton again,
then they'll be in contact. So this has got this is triggering every quarter note, presumably, is it?
Auto will trigger it to the nearest beat, half bar or bar, or 3, 4, 6, 8 bars, or we can choose a pattern. So we've got the double kick at the end, or something more.
Okay.
So let's drag this one in.
So we download that and we process that. So the processed version is the pattern then, rather than a single sample.
So we'll drag in this as a pattern. And we can actually choose a pattern post downloading. So if we choose, we'll use this.
It's got a little jump. Okay, so then we download that one.
Pull this in here.
So we now got variations.
Yeah, so we've got 3 bars of straight kicks and a little variation at the end. And we can
just copy that. Right, so that's it. We've got a kick and a snare, a kick and a hat.
Yeah.
And that's just basically pulled straight in.
Yeah.
Obviously there's no key information or anything going on there.
So we can add something melodic now. So in this instance, let's not look at this free content, but let's move over to the store.
Right, and this is a new thing. This is Loop Cloud version 2, which is also...
Yes, so the version 2 feature, the big version 2 feature is the store. When you download Loop Cloud and sign in, we'll give you 500 points for free.
All right, so points are effectively like a sample currency.
They're sample currency. And it's fairly easy because 500 points is £5.
Right.
So a penny a point. And here we have a selection of entire packs.
And we should point out that Loopmasters has a lot of samples, right?
Yes, millions and millions and millions of samples. And I can buy the entire pack here, but I can browse folders and single files. So within this pack, we could use the filter and search for some keyboard sounds and turn the pattern back to auto. Which is quite nice. You can hear some bird noise and a bit of extra noisy fuzz. That's the low quality preview with a bit of noise as a protection.
Right, okay.
This loop is 25 points.
Right, so 25 pence basically.
25 pence. I can buy it.
Or I guess we should we see whether it sounds any good? Because that's the beauty of it. I guess if you're now playing into live.
So let's play into live. Ah, it's in the wrong key.
Ah, okay.
So this is no problem because we have another 2.0 feature, which is auto key.
Right, okay.
So all of our melodic sounds are tagged with a key.
Okay.
This has been tagged with G, and our track is in F. So we choose F, we turn on auto key, and then our pitch shift engine will sort it all out for you.
Right, okay.
So let's press play again. Already sounds.
Some of those notes work for sure.
Some of them notes, I think the chord sequence has a little bit more.
Is there something a bit more tinkly that would fit over the tops? I mean, that.
Let's move out of this pack and let's go back to the store. And let's go back to our instrument tags. Rather than searching that particular pack, we can now search the entire library. So let's go for piano. If I click on keyboard, it will search for all keyboards.
Yeah.
If I search specifically for piano, and here are all the piano sounds. We've still got auto key on.
So they'll.
Yeah.
So now, if we were playing that in the background, we'd be hearing everything in the context.
Exactly. I think. Well, I know we're in minor, so we can add a minor. So we're now looking for all minor pianos.
Right, so that'll
it will still auto key from anything.
It narrows it down
to minor keys. Let's press play here.
It's interesting.
Might work a bit better because it's a bit more spacious. Right,
So
this works really well, doesn't it?
So this is very dry. I mean, because we're bringing this in to the Ableton session, can we add effects to that
Yes.
to actually kind of listen to even more context?
Yeah. So let's...
So you got some effects.
Yeah, so let's compress it to bring the volume up a bit. Frequency, spectrum analyzer here. Delays. So now we've got a lovely wishy-washy piano.
So if we get attached to that, then we can just basically go, I'll have that,
Yep.
and buy just that sample.
Yes.
So show us the process there.
So
That's nice. I mean, the other thing, and this is probably a byproduct and not something you really want to highlight, but just the fact of kind of listening to what other loops might sound over your initial idea, you might get ideas of phrasing or rhythm that you wouldn't ordinarily have started with. So you might have your own piano sample. If actually, I quite like the feeling of
Yes.
this one, so maybe I'll use that as a source of inspiration. I don't need to buy the sample. I'll do something a bit like that.
Yeah.
Which is probably not, like I say, what you're after. But I mean, as a creative tool, it's actually very powerful as well. Yeah.
It is banks and banks of inspiration files.
Yeah.
And yes, ideally you buy them and bring them in to your track, but it might spark off a whole new idea.
And remember, you can start this at free.
Yes.
So
yes,
this is
it's free and you get £5 worth of points.
So what we do here is what we would.
So I'm going to click buy.
Right. 25. So that's 25
points.
pence.
If you're spending more, there'll be a. Are you okay to spend more?
Right.
So if you're going to spend more than 100 points, then we'll make sure that.
And you presumably you just top this up, do you? It's like
Yep.
adding. So it says you haven't got enough, so you need to top up your account.
It's completely pay as you go. That £5 could last you a week. It could last you 3 or 4 months. It depends on how often you want.
So we've got that. So now.
So if I click show in my library, this is my library. These are all my own
stuff that you've got locally. So now we're hearing the effects.
We're hearing
through
it with the
Ableton,
effects,
right?
yes.
Very Robert Miles.
We're still listening to a preview quality.
Oh, okay.
We've lost the noise and the bird song.
Because we've bought it. But
because
now
we
we
bought
download.
it,
So
but
now
it's-
we just download.
So let's click download. And again, we've got the original, which would be down 4 semitones and a completely different.
So we want the
tempo.
processed file.
Processed. So now that it's been downloaded, it's playing back the full quality version
With the effects.
with the effects. So if I hit record, there we go.
So you're recording through the effects that you built, and you just correct right.
Go. We've got
so now you've got a loop and you can just, okay, right. So that's another way to bring it in, right. So just trim that up
and then... And there we go.
Right. So again, that's so now we switch that off and we've got it in.
Now it's in the project. Oh, let's remember to turn the channel on.
Right, okay. And so we can go kind of around this, and then but by going into the store proper, we've got access to the entire Loop Master. So the idea is we don't have to buy an entire sample pack. We could just do complete a la carte with the amount of points that we've got. So what happens if we wanted to add something kind of more unusual? You know, say we're looking for inspiration, I don't know, for a bass line for that, and it might be, this is what I was talking about, because earlier I was playing around with this and I found some bass things with the free content. I thought, oh, that's an interest. I wouldn't have come up with that myself. So how would we go about that?
So if we go back to our library here, instruments, bass,
Synth.
Synth.
Bass synth.
Synth bass.
Yeah, let's go for that. Seems in keeping.
And let's go to loops again. We've still got the delay on it, which actually sounds quite nice.
That sounds really nice, actually, yeah.
I think we've got it already, haven't we?
That sounds really good. But again, I think that's what that illustrates, is that happy accident.
That was the first file that we clicked on,
and that wasn't pre-rehearsed or anything, that just happened. So I think that's the thing that I find quite interesting about. I mean, as well as obviously all this sample management, it's the ability to audition this stuff in situ that makes it very powerful, because immediately you can tell if contextually it's going to work. You don't have to kind of go, oh, I've gone somewhere else, I found it, these are shortlists, oh no, that doesn't work. You're doing it in real time, and that makes a really big difference, I think.
And we forgot to turn the effects off. We clicked on the first thing, and it actually works really, really well.
So once you've got the files downloaded to your system, can you tag, because obviously you've got a very comprehensive meta tagging system, can you add your own tags? Can you kind of say, this is the, for an idea that I'm working on, so that then you could go back and...
Yeah, so like I said, everything's tagged with its instruments, key, BPM, genre, but there's the opportunity to add your own tags. So there's a little tag manager, add your own tag. So that may be a project.
And that works on sort of local files, right?
Exactly. So that's well, local files is coming up. So
right, your local copies of the stuff that you bought. Oh, I see. So it might be possible to actually do this to existing samples you have in a library that are outside of the Loop Cloud.
So currently the stuff in the library half of Loop Cloud is stuff that you've either bought from loopmasters.com, the stuff that came free through signing up or through the new inspiration, or the stuff that you bought from the store.
Right.
As soon as it comes over to your own library, you are free to, you can delete all the tags if you want. You don't want to do that, but you may want to start categorizing stuff depending on a project that you're working on.
Right.
Or if you want to start putting more detail into the synth categories. Right. We have things like pluck, chord,
but we might want to have PWM, for instance.
PWM, FM.
But so if you've got stuff that's outside of Loop Cloud, I mean, that's not something that's currently happening, but is that something you're working on?
We're in the early stages of testing that. So we want you to be able to add your own folders. So a folder on your hard disk can be added to Loop Cloud, and then you get the benefits of the tagging, the benefits of preview in sync.
Presumably the benefits of cloud storage as
well.
But that's not here yet. Okay. We shouldn't focus too much on that. But, so it's just simply a matter of setting up an account and downloading the software. Yeah. And that's kind of, then you're off.
Yeah.
And so
my top tip is auto loading. So my Ableton auto load always has a Loop Cloud in it. So whenever I go new project, there's a Loop Cloud ready and waiting for me. So download it, stick the Loop Cloud plugin into your auto load project, and then every time you open your project, you've got this new way of previewing your samples.
So this is all available now, which is we won't say what the date is because we're shooting this slightly ahead of time. But version 2 is available now.
Yes.
So you get 500 free points when you sign up.
Yes. You get 150 samples per week for free. You get a gigabyte of free content as well. So there's a lot of you can have a lot of fun just
without spending any money.
Right. But we're giving you away some money for free anyway. So experience the store, have fun, find samples that you may not. That come up in interesting searches.
Well, before we go, can we find something really sort of out there? Should we just have a go? Something kind of really out of character? Because this is quite sort of synthy, ambient.
Nice.
What on paper shouldn't work with this?
We'll go to the store because the selection is significantly bigger than where we had. So genres.
I think this is again, it's sort of demonstrating this sort of just completely off-piste. It takes you somewhere where you wouldn't.
So we went to World, so now the instruments are filtered.
Right.
So there are no World vinyl effects.
Right.
But there are World drums and cymbals and guitars and percussion, etc. We could try mixed, which should have a...
There's one.
There's one.
Well, better be good. That'll work, won't it? That will actually.
Is this the.
We're getting into country.
Oh, is this the Irish Cayley pack?
Is it? Right, Irish Cayley. So, go on.
So this will be 25p, well spent.
But I mean, we're being very random here, aren't we?
Yeah.
And you can be a lot more sort of genre specific and really kind of, as well as finding these kind of happy accidents. So, okay, so we get the process one.
Yeah. Let's just remove all the low frequencies. pull the volume down.
Yeah, make it go away effectively. But I think that's the thing. I mean, the thing that I found when I was playing this. I mean, also we could be doing, because we'd be starting and stopping because we've got to talk and show you the facts. But actually, you can have a beat and something that kind of works, and then just drag in another element. So you can almost sort of DJ infinitely on top of something that's already pre-made or another loop. That's the thing I found really interesting about it, is that the creative inspirational side of it. It's not just sort of the IT and management simplicity. It's the managing the ability to be creative quickly. Yeah.
I've forgotten the days of scrolling through folders on my hard disk looking for sounds.
Right.
Yeah, that creative thing. I need a new sound. Let's go to my H drive, to my sample library, and open folders and try and find. 25 minutes later, you've got nowhere.
I suppose the other thing is obviously Live has a real-time stretch algorithm, but other DAWs don't. So you would use the processing thing within the LoopCloud plugin, because then that would just automatically conform it to the key and the tempo that you're working at. Look, Ollie, that's really interesting. Thank you very much for coming down.
Pleasure.
So this is all available now.
Yep.
Where do people go?
Loopcloud.net. Downloads either for Mac or PC, AAX, VST, and AU, so it works in every DAW, and it's great.
Thank you very much. That's it. See you next time.
Cheers.
Thank you very much for watching.